1414. And you can also catch her by her email, and that is wise1747 at gmail.com. That's WISEONE 747 at gmail.com. Thank you all for tuning in. I want to give a brief word to our sponsors and our management and staff. We have KXVS management and staff. We have General Manager Governor Don Mazewski, Station Manager and Sports Director Dustin Details Breakbill, Program Operations Manager Xenia Gonzalez, Assistant Operations Manager Donovan Mazewski, Marketing Manager Betty Ramirez, Production Manager Ryan Cooper, News Director Dr. Mariel Jimenez, Multimedia Journalist Orlando Jose, Social Media Coordinator Alyssa Love Gaspar, News Announcer Richard Slezak, and Office Manager Tim Hawley. I want to thank everyone for tuning in, and thank you all for joining us. We appreciate your support and your love. Remember to tune in to come meet us at Sacramento at the New Earth Living Expo in Sacramento, where I'll be doing readings, and you can also catch Jessica Gillenwater there as well. She's going to be doing angelic Reiki healings too. And tomorrow you can catch me at Dragon.
VS on 92.1. Coming soon.
Well,
Attention,
I hope that
Stockton.
got the refresh going.
Are you
on
experiencing
the,
a transition in
Facebook
business,
and
relationships,
YouTube on the
health, or your
X
life purpose?
Richard
I'm Darius
Slezak
Oliver,
here,
and I
bringing
help
it
people to
in
look within
slowly.
and find clarity and direction in their constantly changing lives.
Please forgive me for
Tune
last
in and
night.
listen with me as I
Seemed to
go
have been
deep
a little
into
flu
your
bug
patterns,
coming
personal
along,
cycles
and
through divine numerology.
heck, I
Any life
just
transition
went
you're experiencing can be
collapso. Oh, it was
illuminated
not
by
good.
an in-depth analysis
but
of
I'm
your
back,
chart.
feeling a little better.
For the first-
It's time for the Sunday Night Islam show, and I am your host, and we're going to be going through the early Meccan Suras, verses on salvation. Now we have attained a major milestone here on the Islam show, which has been running here at the John Moriarty studio since 2014. And I know not too many of you were listening back then when we were Stone Soup. And I appreciate everybody listening in now. And so we're going forth. We've completed on-air reading of all the Meccan Suras, early, middle, and late, composed and delivered between 610 and 622 Amini Deo, chiefly in Mecca of the Hijaz in western Arabia, due south of Israel, Samaria / Palestine. And so real important is that how do you get to heaven, and how do you live your life in such a manner as to attain salvation? That's unique to each religion. And so we're going to be doing Islam, but again, the Meccan Suras. So we'll get a good idea of what constitutes the initial, what you had to do initially within the Meccan Suras. There might be changes coming forth to that. Those would be in the Medinan Suras that came forth from September 622, when Muhammad and Abu Bakr made the Hajj together. So I'm not certain as to all the changes that will be forthcoming, for I have read those on ahead of time. But this is what we're going to do, and it's to, if you don't like the changes that came, that, wow, what caused that in that most central of aspects of a religion? So I'm not going to, I'm swinging for contact this evening. I have a slight flu bug, and so we're just going to do the early Meccan Suras. Going to start out with a weather report, and I got, this is from the National Weather Service, and here in California, it's a high surf warning on the North Coast, Del Norte, and Humboldt County coasts. That's a gale warning about the first 50 miles offshore from, covering again Mendocino, Humboldt, and Del Norte coasts here in California. Over in Modoc County, we got a high wind warning, it looks to be. That's matched by what's happening in south central Oregon, just across the border. And let us now go to our local forecast. And we have 5:46 p.m. You are web tuned to the Voice of Stockton. And doing the weather here. Bam. And fair conditions at Stockton Metropolitan Airport, 55 degrees. Humidity at 72%. Wind is out of the west at 7 miles per hour. Barometer as 30.08 inches of mercury. Dew point is at 46 degrees Fahrenheit. Visibility 10 miles. That was as of a mere 26 minutes ago. For this evening, it's going to be patchy fog with a low, looks to be 46. So, oh boy, it's going to be heavy dew. Going to be an all-night mountain dew. Monday, slight chance of rain and patchy fog with a forecast high of 66. Monday night, mostly cloudy. Low temperature forecast 51. Tuesday, partly sunny with a high temperature forecast of 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Tuesday night, partly cloudy, low of 53. Wednesday, sunny with a high of 70. Wednesday night, partly cloudy with a low of 56. Thanksgiving Day, mostly sunny with a high of 71. And then Thanksgiving evening, mostly cloudy with a low of 54. All righty-us. Let us bring up the audition. Oh, all righty. And nothing to transfer, so I'm going to get right into the show and whip a little delete there. 2017-11-19 with a comma, a space, and just keep it short. Islam Show. All righty, here we go. 5:48 p.m. here at thevoiceofstockton.org. Good evening, Stockton and people around the world. Welcome to the Sunday Night Islam Show here on thevoiceofstockton.org. I am your host, Richard Slezak, and we're running live on Facebook and YouTube, and I just got the audition there recording. And I'd like to share our sponsors. Yes, we have sponsors. You can be one too. And these are fine business establishments here in Stockton, led off by Hotel Furniture Liquidators. They're over at 1648 North Shaw Road in East Stockton, and just off the 99. And they got furniture for your home. Hey, you know, if you got a business, you need a bed or bureau or desk or chairs, hey, visit them. They got the stuff. Miracle Mile Bookstore and Doors Book Recyclery at 2210 and 2310 Pacific Avenue. You can get books. Fong To is the proprietor. Head on over here to the Miracle Mile and get yourself some books. They're good for children. Custom Plastics at Signs, 326 East Dr. Martin Luther King Boulevard in Stockton. Our buddy Christopher Cuevas will do plastic fabrication to make displays for you. He can get those vehicle and boat graphics up, oh, beautiful, on your vehicular. Signage, you bet. Campaign signs he'd love to do. He'll print T-shirts and business cards. And oh yeah, plastic, tubes, sheets, and rods to your content. Millennium Computer Repair, Sarfraz Khan is on the move for you. Give him a call in the 209-922-1879. Sarfraz's expertise in video and spyware removal, performance improvements, computer password removal, data backup, and repair, hard drive repair. He's got parts, lots of parts, and can replace your computer with those parts. And if you want to buy parts from him, he's got parts for sale. The Restore, done by Habitat for Humanity, over at 4933 West Lane here in Stockton. Wonderful store. We buy stuff from them. They got tools. They got windows, doors, building materials, furniture. It does change over time. HVAC, electrical apparatus. Wonderful store. Make it a point to go. Tender Donuts, we break fresh daily. Chanrath San and Sivke San at 1304 East Hammer Lane. Open at 4:30 a.m. Monday through Friday and Saturday. And open at 5:30 on Sunday. Stays open till 6. T-shirt printing and business card printing can get it done at Leaders at 500 East Lodi Avenue at Garfield in Lodi. All righty, continuing to march, and we're going to be migrating over to the big table, and I'm going to keep my headset on. And, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing. All righty. Let me back out for a moment, and I'll be right back in. Do what I did last night. All righty. Forgive me about the I'm just going to rotate this puppy. At least get it on me. The cameras ain't working too. It's something in the X-split that's not cycling from. Wait a minute. Let me just see if I can do something with this. Extensions, outputs, sources, transition? No, fade, no. Set transition style and speed. Fade, clock, move right, move left. None. Oh boy. No, that won't work. That wasn't anything. And those are just the various scenes. Oh, okay, well, looks like we're just kind of stuck with this one camera kind of thing. So I hope it's getting out. It's good enough for the president, it's good enough for me. Yeah, although he heaps scorn on Marco Rubio, but hey, it's President Trump. Yeah. I met a fella yesterday. He's got the philosophy of a fascist, and he was a policeman back in 1968. Met him in line over at Safeway over here at in Stockton, the one up at Ben Holton Pacific, and I met my first fascist pig. What can I say? He's a fascist. He was a cop in 68. He fills the bill. And he is a fascist. He has really no use for constitutional democratic republic. The man told me he didn't like any politician. Oh, okay, how are you going to conduct governance? He really didn't get into it. You know, he's just this, yeah, I don't like any of them. Aren't I cool? No, you're not. If you think it's that extreme of a mess, well, then you get in there and, solve the problems. And, well, we didn't talk all that long. I did end up telling him I'm on the Democratic Central Committee, and he thought that was, he didn't grumble about that. I was on my way. Oh, shame on me, bad person. Yeah, politician. Yeah. It's the lowest elected office. Praise to Muslim Americans. You vote Democratic like by 80% plus. You serve in the military. You serve in many government posts quite admirably and quite well. I don't have a gripe with it. You're doing that's good. You're doing a good. As Islam teaches, you're to do good, and governing is absolutely critical. If you're a person that says government does no good, then it's not providing justice, and therefore you're way out of line by complaining and not being active in solving that problem. It's your obligation to your fellow humans. And that's where the doing good comes in. Judaism teaches the same. Christianity, mainline Christianity, teaches the same. Now, granted, you have the Jehovah's Witness. They don't involve themselves in government. And ask them about that yourself. This show's not on the JWs and might be doing shows in the future on them, but they're, you can't claim to be good and not govern. The lack of governance is anarchy, and no good happens in anarchy because that's the state of affairs of men doing what is right in their own eyes. And, if you've been listening to the Islam show, that ain't tolerated. So, bless them, like it or not, they do at least bring civilization. You might just not like the definition. Last night I had fever and extreme tiredness all at once. Took a nap this afternoon, ate good. Watched the Raider game. When it was 24-0, I went and laid down. I had the volume up on the TV, but I didn't hear a lot of Raider touchdowns. Sorry, folks. That's unfortunately that's football. And so let us get started. We're closing in on 6 o'clock here, and let me keep track of the time for you. Yeah, it looks to be 5:58 p.m. here at thevoiceofstockton.org, coming to you from the John Moriarty studio here in Stockton, California, 231 West Bedford, right next to 2001. This is the late Meccan. So let me dig through my file. You've been doing, paper don't forget. It's just bulky, but it don't forget. So we're going to go to the early Meccan Suras. I'm not going to try to bite off more than we can chew. Quite a few verses here, so I'll do this week's show on the early Meccan, next week's on the middle Meccan, and then first week of December on the late Meccan. And we'll get a clear picture of what you have to do to attain salvation in Islam. Now, these little bite marks, yeah, they're from a doggy. My neighbor's got the same ones. He has a German Shepherd puppy named Rex. And so you need to get to know the dog when it's going to be weighing maybe 100 pounds right next door. So it's always, let your neighbor's dog know you. It's always a wise path. Now I'm going to be going through these and my approximation of when these surahs came forth. This isn't an exact science, but we got fairly good ideas. So going to Surah 95. And utilizing my 1991 Turkish translation, and that looks like 95. Yeah, attend the fig and except those who believe and do good works, for they will have an unfailing reward. What can, after this, contradict you as to the judgment to come? So it's a focus towards those who are non-believers, not so much believers. And we're going to now go to Surah 103. And this is Al-Asr, time, verse 3. Except those who believe and do good works, and exhort one another to truth, and exhort one another to steadfastness. And continuing to march. Surah 92. 91, and wait a minute. Those are in the 80s, or are they? Yeah, oh my. They're short surahs, and so I don't want to be quoting 82 when I meant to do 92. XC, that's 92 is verses 12, 13. Surely with us rests guidance, and verily to us belong the hereafter and the world. And looks like we're getting towards 6:03 p.m. You are webtuned to thevoiceofstockton.org. This is the Sunday Night Islam Show with your host, Richard Slezak. We're going through the early Meccan Suras to bring forth the path to salvation in Islam. And it's unique to Islam, since the Quran is unique to Islam. This is Quranic. Okay, continuing. Now we're going to Surah 108. Oh, that's 109, 108, verses 2 and 3. We have surely given you abundance, so pray to your Lord and sacrifice to him. Now over to 108. That's not very far. See, oh, wait a minute. Was that 108? Oh, 108 was, no, 101. And Surah 101, verses 6 and 7. Then as for him whose scales are heavy, in parentheses, with good deeds, he will be in a pleasing life. Okay, now on to Surah 90. And that's verses 12 through 18. Would that you knew what the steep road is. It is the freeing of a bondsman, or feeding on a day of famine of an orphaned relation, or a needy man in distress, and also that he be one of those who believe and counsel one another to patience and mercy. Those who do this will be the people of the right hand. Now on to 89 and 27 through 30. O secure soul, return to your Lord, pleased and well-pleasing. Enter among my servants and enter my garden. Now 88, 8 through 16. On that day, woo! Oh my. On that day, other faces will be blissful, glad for their labors. So much of this is just leaps right to Judgment Day, so that's kind of stuck with what having, to bring forth as well in this review as to get a handle on what constitutes salvation. Okay, glad for their labors, dwelling in a lofty garden where they hear no idle talk. There will be a gushing fountain, and raised soft couches, and goblets set at hand, and cushions arrayed, and rich carpets spread out. Now to Surah, wait a minute. That was 88, 87. Oh, wow, there's much of this. Okay, starting with verse 8. We shall guide you to the easiest path, therefore give admonition, in case the admonition profits, in parentheses, the hearer. The admonition will be received by those who fear, in parentheses, Allah. On to verse 14. Prosperous indeed are those who purify themselves and glorify the name of their Lord and perform the prayers. Now 17 through finishing up with 19. While the life to come is better and more lasting, all this is contained in earlier scriptures, the scriptures of Abraham and Moses. Now on to Surah 85, verse 11. But those who believe and do good works, theirs will be gardens beneath which rivers flow. That is the greatest triumph. Surah 84, verse 6 through 9. O man, you are indeed toiling towards your Lord painfully, and you will meet him. He that is given his book in his right hand will have a lenient reckoning and go back rejoicing to his people. Now jumping to the last verse, 25. Except those who embrace the true faith and do good works, theirs will be a reward unfailing. Okay, Surah 83, and this is verses 18 through 28. But the record of the righteous will be in Ilion. What will convey to you what Ilion is? It is a sealed book, seen by those who are closest to Allah. The religious will surely dwell in bliss, reclining upon soft couches. They will look around them. In their faces you will recognize the glow of joy. And mixed with water of Tasnim. Oh, wait a minute. Verse 25, I jumped. They will be given to drink of a pure wine, whose seal is musk. For this let all men aspire, and mixed with water of Tasmin, a spring at which those brought near to Allah will drink. Okay, on to Surah 82, and that is verses 10 through 13. Yet there are guardians watching over you, noble recorders, who know of all that you do. The righteous surely will dwell in bliss. And then verse 19, last verse. A day on which no soul has power at all for any other. The absolute command on that day is Allah's. Oh, this morning at church, we have members who get with people of other religions, and Buddhists, Muslims, Jews, sometimes maybe even Hindus, I'm not sure, Sikhs. And the original or more ancient pronunciation of Allah is E-L-L apostrophe L apostrophe H. The breath. Breath. And you breathe God in and you breathe God out. The breath. It's the name you can't say because it's breathed. And the ancient Judaic, the Sikh fella told my buddy Alexis about this at one of their meetups, and it was enlightening for him because it was contemplative, a level up from the black or white that we're so used to in analyzing things. Okay, Surah 81. And that's on page 585 of my Quran. And this, we'll go to 19 first. Verily, this is the word of a gracious messenger. And then 28, 29. To those among you that have the will to be upright, and you cannot will unless Allah wills, who is the Lord of the worlds. So, a little bit of predeterminism there. Okay, that was 81, going on to 80, 8 through 16. But as for him who eagerly hastens you and is in fear of Allah, you are heedless of him. By no means should it be so. The Quran, that was in parentheses, is surely an admonishment. So without the parentheses word, by no means is surely as is an admonishment. We're doing, okay, verse 12. So let whosoever will pay heed to it. It is set down on honored pages, exalted and purified, borne by the hands of emissaries, angels, noble and righteous. Woe to man, how ungrateful he is. From what stuff did he create him? And again, that was through, oh, that's all the way up to 18. Let's go over to 33. But when the shout comes on the day when a man flees from his brother, his mother and his father, and his wife and his children, again, this is jumping on into the judgment day times, for each one of them will on that day have enough concerns of his own. On that day there will be faces radiant, smiling, rejoicing at good news. Okay, Surah 79. Okay, getting the right page here. A little jumping around here. Verse 8. On that day hearts will be throbbing. They will say, sure, shall we really be restored back to life in the grave, even after we have become crumbled homes? They say, then that would be a vain proceeding. It will be a single cry. And behold, they will all be awakened. Now on to verse 35. The day when man will call to mind his labors. And then 40 through 45. But those who feared to stand before their Lord and curb their soul's desires, the gardens will be their dwelling place. They question you, parentheses, Mohammed, continuing, about the hour of doom. When will it be? But how are you to know? Your Lord alone knows when it will come. You are but a warner for those who fear it. Okay, now on to Surah 75. We're doing the early Meccan Suras, verses on salvation. Special episode, for I've shared all the Meccan Suras with you. And this is a critical, central subject to any religion. So we're going through it. Okay, Surah 75, verse 22. On that day there will be fresh faces looking towards their Lord. Jump into 40, the last verse. Is he then not able to raise the dead to life? Surah 74, starting with verse 31. It's a long one. We have appointed none but angels to guard the fire and made their number a subject for dispute among the disbelievers. so that those to whom the Scriptures were given may be convinced, and the true believers strengthened in their faith, that those to whom the Scriptures were given and the true believers may have no doubts, and that those in whose hearts there is disease, together with disbelievers, may say, what could Allah mean by this? Thus, Allah leaves in error whom He will, and guides whom He pleases. None knows the soldiers of your Lord but Him. This is nothing but an admonition to mankind. Again, we're in Surah 74, so 36 through 40. As a warning to mankind, to any of you that would like to march and those that would like to remain behind, each soul is held in pledge for what it earns, except the companions of the right hand. They will be in gardens of delight. They will question each other. Now on to 48. No intercessor's plea will avail them. And that just concerns, why do they turn away from admonition? And till the inevitable overtook us. So, there's no intercessor for the unbelievers. And that was verse 48. 54 through 56. No, this is an admonition. Let him who will take heed, but none take heed except by the will of Allah. He is the Lord of righteousness and the Lord of forgiveness. Okay, now on to Surah 73. And, oh, that's verse 20. Woo! That's about a 15-liner, so here we go. Your Lord knows that you, in parentheses, Muhammad, continuing, sometimes keep vigil nearly 2/3 of the night and sometimes half or 1/3 of it, and so does a party of those with you. Allah measures the night and the day. He knows that you cannot count it, and turns to you mercifully. Recite from the Quran as much as is easy, in parentheses, for you. Continuing, He knows that among you there are sick men and others traveling the road in quest of Allah's bounty, and yet others fighting for His cause. Recite from it then as much as is easy, in parentheses, for you. Attend to your prayers, pay the zakat, and give Allah a generous loan. Whatever good you do for your souls, you will surely find it with Allah, better and richly rewarded by Him. Implore Allah to forgive you. He is forgiving, merciful. Now on to Surah 70. Working it, working it. Oh my, that's this. Surah 70, verses 22 through 35. And here we go. Not so the worshippers who are steadfast in prayer, and in whose wealth there is a right knowledge, for the beggar and the destitute, and those who believe in the day of judgment, and those who are fearful of their Lord's doom. And again, this is 70. We're going through 35. For none is secure from the punishment of their Lord, who restrain their carnal desire, save for their wives and slave girls, for thus they are not blameworthy. But those who trespass beyond this are transgressors, and those who keep their pledges and their covenant, and those who stand by their testimony, and those who are attentive at their worship. These will dwell in garden honor. Now, on to Surah 69. There we go. The reality, Al-Haqqa, and 19 through 24 and 48. Now, verse 19. Then as for him who is given his record in the right hand, he will say, Take, read my book. Surely I knew that I should have to meet my reckoning. Then he will be in a blissful state, in a high garden, with clusters of fruit within reach. In parentheses, we shall say to him, Eat and drink to your heart's content because of what you did in days gone by. And then on over to verse 48. It is a warrant to righteous men. Okay, Surah 68, 34 through 37 and 41. Okay, 34 through 37, verse 34. Verily, for the righteous are gardens of bliss with their Lord. Are we to deal with true believers as we deal with the wrongdoers? What is the matter with you? How foolishly you judge? Or have you a book through which you learn, that you will have through it whatever you choose? Okay, 68, 40, verse 41. Or have they other gods? Then let them bring their other gods if they are truthful. Surah 56. 62. 59. Heading towards 56, page and along. That's 49. That's 59. 57. 57. Looking for 56. It's a long one. No, 56, 8 through 16 is where we're starting at. Okay, those on the right, what of those to the right? Those on the left, what of those on the left? And the foremost in faith will be the foremost in the hereafter. Such are they that shall be brought near to their Lord. I'm also reading things in parentheses. In the gardens of delight, a whole multitude from the men of old, but only a few from the later generations, on lined couches, reclining therein face to face. And then we're going over to verse 40. A multitude from the men of old, and a multitude from the latter. Oh, okay. Let's, those on the right hand, going back 27, right hand, what of those on the right hand? They will be among the thornless lot trees, and clustered plantations, and spreading shade, and water gushing. Again, this is a description of the reward you get for attaining salvation in Islam. So I'm going to jump that over to 76 to 80. A mighty oath. Nay, I swear by the places of the stars, this 75, a mighty oath, if you but knew it. That is indeed a noble Quran, inscribed in a hidden book, continuing, 79, which none may touch except the purified, a revelation from the Lord of the worlds. And 95, 96, last verses. This is a certain truth. Praise then the name of your Lord, the tremendous. Now we're going to Surah 53. That's 54, 53. Verse 25 is the first one. And which of your Lord's blessings would you two deny? It looks like 28. All that is upon the earth shall pass away, and the face of your Lord will abide forever, full of majesty. Which of your Lord's blessings would you two deny? Every day he exercises his universal power. And we're in 53:31. We shall dispose of you, O you two dependents, man and jinn. Seems to be in the negative. Which of your Lord's blessings would you two deny? O company of jinn and men, if you have power to penetrate all regions of the heavens and the earth, then penetrate them. You will never penetrate them except with our sanction. 36 through 44. Which of your Lord's blessings would you to deny? And when the heaven splits asunder and becomes rosy like red hide, which of your Lord's blessings would you to deny? On that day neither man nor jinn will be questioned of his sin. Which of your Lord's blessings would you to deny? I know these aren't very good. Through 44, and the wrongdoers will be known by their marks and will be seized by their forelocks and the feet. Which of your Lord's blessings would you to deny? This is hell, which the sinners deny. They go circling round between it and fierce boiling water. Those are negative scenes. That is not the path to salvation specifically that I'm looking for, but that's much more of that and the Meccan Suras than the actual path to salvation verses. Okay, 56. Therein are maidens of modest gaze, from neither man nor jinn will have touched before them. Which of your Lord's blessings would you to deny? They are like rubies and corals. Which of your Lord's blessings would you to deny? Is the reward for goodness anything but goodness? Which of your Lord's blessings would you to deny? And beside them there are two other gardens. Okay. Surah 52, 16 through 28. And here we... Oh, what the heck? Oh, okay. Endure the heat thereof, the heat thereof, and whether you are patient of it or impatient of it is all one for you. You are only being paid for what you used to do. Surely the God-fearing will dwell in gardens and delight, happy because of what their Lord has given them, and because their Lord has warded off from them the torments of hell fire. In parentheses, and it is said to them, continuing, eat and drink in joy because of your good deeds. And we're in 52 and 16 through 28. We're at 20. They shall recline on couches ranged around, and we shall wed them to Uris, ladies of heaven with large and lovely eyes. Again, this is reward for doing good and following Islam. Those who believe and are followed in faith by their descendants will cause their descendants to join them, and we deprive them of nothing of their work. Every individual is a pledge for what he does, and we provide them with fruit and meat such as they desire. There they will pass from hand to hand a cup inspiring no idle talk, no sinful urge. I guess they won't be talking trash because that's idle talk. Muhammad didn't like trash talk. Okay, continuing. We're in 52:16 through 28:24. And there go round, waiting on them, men servants of their own, as though they were hidden pearls. They will advance to each other and ask each other, aforetime, we were not without fear for the sake of our people, but Allah has been gracious to us and delivered us from the torment of the breath of fire. Truly, we have prayed to him. He is the kind, the merciful. Okay, on to 51. And this is 15 through 23. The righteous will dwell amid gardens and water springs, and will receive what their Lord shall give them, for they were aforetime doers of good. They used to sleep but little of the night, praying at dawn for Allah's pardon, and in their wealth the beggar and the outcast had due share. And in the earth are portents for those whose faith is sure, and also in yourselves can you not see, and in the heaven is your providence, and that which you are promised, and by the Lord of the heavens and the earth, this is true as you are speaking now. Now on to verses 50 and 51. Therefore flee to Allah, I am a warner to you from him. Set up no other gods besides Allah, I am a warner to you from him. And then on to Surah number 1. That's way in the front of the book. Known as the opening, verses 4 through 6. You alone do we worship, and to you alone we pray for help. Guide us to the straight path, the way of those whom you have favored. All right. Thus, these are the salvation verses, and then some, of the early Meccan Suras. Woo! Yeah. So, let's see what time we're getting to have here at the Voice of Stockton. Now, this has been going, it's about a 45, 50-minute show so far, which is fine. And I'm going to leave it at that. And sure do appreciate you listening in. Next week, we're going to be getting into the middle Meccan Suras of what constitutes salvation in Islam. And sure do thank you for tuning in here to the Sunday Islam show. Keep it tuned to thevoiceofstockton.org and feel free to get involved. Our number here is in the 209-467-4455. And again, we're at 231 West Bedford Road, Stockton, California. Have a good Sunday evening. Thanks for being with us. And continuing live here at the Voice of Stockton, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to shut down the YouTube and Facebook. Pardon the only single camera shot. Tried to get that thing going, but it didn't quite work right. But something's better than